While exploring the University of Kentucky Art Museum, I walked up the stairs and heard the echo of my footsteps on the wooden floor as I blindly entered an exhibit, seemingly hidden in its own small room. As soon as I glanced at the black and white photographs that lined the walls, a sense of nostalgia washed over me. I felt as if I were back at home in Indiana, either roaming my aunt or grandma's land, as I looked at the stills of the natural man-made structures around me. I walked outside of the exhibit to read the passage on the outside of the wall. The collection is titled "Still-Feel-Gone" by Tim Carpenter. The passage gives a beautiful description of the work that tells exactly what I experienced upon first entering the space. It read, "Carpenter draws the viewer into unassuming, semi-rural situations where the most dramatic thing occurring might be the leaning of a telephone pole or a meandering crack in the asphalt. There's a palpable sense of quiet and containment, and he trusts that the camera can make wonders with the thing in itself." While I had a sense of serenity, as this nostalgia swept me from one end of the collection to the other, I couldn't help but be left with a slight discomfort as I missed home a little more than I did before I entered those 4 black and white covered walls. I left wondering if nostalgia really can do good for us, or if it's doing more harm. After spending some time doing nostalgic activities and research, I've determined that nostalgia is vital to our society as it increases gratitude, but like anything, too much of it can be harmful. To start my journey to this conclusion, I visited an area just outside of my hometown. There's a small town called Hazleton, Indiana, which lives in a state of nostalgia. Old buildings, cars, and land all encapsulate the memories of the families that have been rooted in this town for multiple generations. It looks as if Still-Feel-Gone came to life in front of my eyes. Tim Carpenter made me realize the gratitude I have for these quiet places in my life. Upon returning to campus, my mind was stuck back in the woods. I wanted to be back in the country, where I could listen to the birds sing as the water flowed past the land where remnants of the burnt-down bar have lied for years. At first, being stuck in this headspace seemed to be hindering my ability to focus. Then, I realized I needed to stop worrying about where I was and take in where I am now. I quickly opened up a new tab on Google and went to work. I discovered a New York Times article titled, "What is Nostalgia Good For? Quite a bit, research shows," by John Tierney. The word nostalgia comes from a 17th century Swiss physician, Johannes Hofer, who attributed soldiers' mental and physical maladies to their longing return home, eventually defined as nostos in Greek, with the accompanying pain algos. When this word was first in common use, people associated nostalgia as a mental disorder. This idea that if you long for the past, you must be depressed and unable to move forward. It was described as a neurological disease of essentially demonic cause by the man that coined this term. John, the author of the article, wrote closely beside a social psychology professor named Konstantin Siddiquis, who studied nostalgia at Southampton. The professor makes it clear that nostalgia is a universal experience and has defining features that are shared around the world. He paints a picture for John that nostalgia is often induced by negative events or feelings of loneliness, but it can be healing. Erica Hepper, a psychologist at the University of Surrey in England, points out that nostalgia helps us with transitions in life. With the sense of where nostalgia originated and how it's being viewed in some major media today, I turned to a review of recent studies done. I was interested to see that this was written by Amelia Dennis and Erica Hepper. Yes, the same Erica Hepper interviewed for the New York Times article. This shows that there's a lack of attention on this idea of nostalgia, and there seems to be a close-knit academic community that discusses it. This article uncovers the ways that this comfort helped in relation to COVID and can improve multiple types of well-being. They bring to attention that the full effects of nostalgia cannot be determined due to a lack of research in the area, especially long-term data. An experiment conducted in multiple parts by Ben Lee and a handful of other scientists hypothesized that nostalgia would increase gratitude. They found that there is a complicated relationship between gratitude, subjective well-being, and nostalgia. Each need each other in order to be balanced. They said their results suggest that nostalgia is a potential cause of gratitude, and gratitude is potential cause of subjective well-being. This idea stuck with me, as the feeling of nostalgia, especially when it comes to my family, increases my appreciation for what I had. More importantly, it reminds me to be thankful for and to take in what I have in this moment. A Washington Post article tells how this feeling can strengthen social connections and be a reminder of loved ones who are far away or no longer with us. The article says, reminiscing reinforces our sense of self-continuity, strengthening the narrative we tell about our lives, which is important for our mental well-being. To make it clear, it is my personal thought that these positive effects can only be seen to their full potential if we are actively aware of them, which is why it is important to take our time to allow nostalgia to wash over you like an ocean wave. We cannot get stuck in the state of the past, but rather use it as an inspiration to move forward. Tim Carpenter masterfully creates a world of nostalgia on the 3 small walls of the University of Kentucky Art Museum, but also in his work as a collective. The warmth of the nostalgic sun shines through his black and white filters. His work as a whole is so comprehensive. It is almost hard to distinguish what collection an individual image may have come from. I think he too shares the idea that nostalgia is a delight in life. A delight in life that if we took time to appreciate, it doesn't mean that we're stuck in the past, but rather using it as inspiration to move forward, a way to heal from trauma, a way to connect us all together.
Our sounds travel fast, far across the open field. So we shouldn't ask about the presence that we feel.